welcome back to the Buck Junkie Podcast. The last deer season.
End of the season.
That's it, ain't it?
Got one more. Well, today and one more.
Yep. I had to go last night. I sat till dark.
No.
Saw a bunch of deer but no bucks, man. I was trying to self-film shooting a buck. I'd done made my mind up. I was settling. It wasn't going to be no trophy. It wasn't going to be no trophy, but I didn't want to cooperate. I saw a bunch of deer, but I didn't see one that was even worth enough to call a cull. That's bad, ain't it? You can't even find a cull buck.
Yeah.
They have disappeared. I mean, the doe are out, but
I think they
where
just
the bucks are.
run down and hunker down because everybody I've talked to is like their cameras are dead. They're not seeing nothing out of stands. They're seeing does, but that's about – and the bucks they are seeing are smaller, but they group back up.
I don't know how many posts I've read that everybody says the deer population's down. And, you know, when you see all these government findings and the insurance companies and all that talking about the population of Mississippi and all that, I don't know, man. It's been a bad year.
Because everybody I talked to said that, I mean, most of them, there's been a couple of guys that had a decent season, but a lot of them just said, hey, this is the worst deer season they ever had. You know, just as far as seeing deer and stuff.
So it was a mast year, which is, you know, record acre numbers. Y'all think that has a lot to do with it?
I don't think we've had good weather all hunting season. Like technically good hunting weather. Yeah. You got to think it's either been 70 degrees
or negative,
solid, or raining, pouring down rain. Like we haven't had like a stretch of just a good cold weather, decent, you know, sunshine or overcast. It's been either raining, freezing cold, or hot.
You know, the biggest thing I noticed this year was the wind direction seemed off. I mean, we had a ton of south wind, and we just never – our stands aren't set up for it. I mean, we got a few that you can hunt, but –
heck, we've had east wind this year.
Yeah, it's just you don't see that wind typically. Normally, I would say 80% of the time it's a northwest wind where we're hunting. Most of our sets are for that, and we've got a few that are south winds, but it was bad.
I mean, we had that long drought, so we don't know kind of how that affected stuff. Because, I mean, you're not going to see that effects till months later anyway. Go back to we ain't got no crawfish, so we ain't got no deer. So it's all kind of passed together, I think.
Hey, maybe that's true.
I wondered about that, you know, if maybe dehydration got some of the deer, seeing how we were so dry for so long, you know, and a lot of these ponds might near dried up, you know, and I don't know.
Leaving Darren at the island, they didn't kill near the deer they usually kill.
They didn't meet quota?
No. Well, I don't remember what the numbers was, but it was way off compared to what it is usual for year-to-year kill date.
So we had 10 doe and 1 buck killed on property. Mm-hmm. And that was – I mean, that's the average. It's probably numbers-wise, it's not bad. I mean, we'd like to have killed a few more decent bucks. And there was bucks to shoot. There was opportunity. They just weren't mature, Because I saw a bunch of bucks earlier in the year. I mean, it wasn't nothing to see, you know, some rack bucks, but they just weren't. They were all, you know, 1.5, 2.5 years old. There weren't any super mature ones.
You wouldn't think we'd have that trouble being we're hunting high fence all the time, you know.
Can't go nowhere.
So does that change your mind, like on going into the next season? You know, like just say you know maybe you've seen a deer early in the season and you. Should you have shot it? Should you have not shot it? I'll wait. He'll come back, or I might see him later on in the season. Or do you try to wait till the end of the season like you're doing now, you know, or everybody's doing now, and say, well, I'm ready to like drop my standards a little bit and go ahead and take one.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to say what to do. You know, I know it is for me.
I mean, I get the point in that because you get tired of going out there and sitting and not shooting anything. I mean, but my thing's always been go ahead and kill doe. I mean, there's plenty of doe, and manage your property because that's what it's all about. It ain't about if we were on some lease and you know you might lose it and didn't have it and you wasn't really taking care of the land and trying to do right. I could see shooting some smaller bucks, but I just don't believe in shooting them young ones, man. Give them a chance.
I think too. we look back and I mean, you've seen a good 8. I've seen a good 8, but it's at the point now like if he's made it this far, I want to see what he does next year.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of the way I am.
That piques my interest now. I'm like, all right, he's a good deer. Like 3 or 4 years ago, I probably would have smoked that 8 point. You know,
oh, there's 4 or 5 of them that would have been killed.
Probably not even in the equation. It's a
guarantee. Shot. And I mean, I had the opportunity that one I seen early in the year. I mean, it was one of them things where, you know, I didn't automatically grab my rifle. And once I do that, I'm not touching that rifle. You know, if I don't see the deer and like, oh crap, you know, like if it don't get me going that quick, I'm not gonna fool with it. But you know, it's one of them things. Like if I would see him tomorrow morning, he's gonna have to walk. Like he's got one more day to go, and hopefully Oldsmobile don't get him in the spring or something.
I didn't even go back over there. I knew. You don't want the temptation? Yeah, I don't want the temptation again because I've let that deer walk so many times. And there's a point. I mean, I don't know if I hadn't killed many deer bigger than that deer. No. Killed a couple, but
that deer needs a little bit more mass on antlers. Yeah. Other than that, it's the.
If his tine length gets in, or his brow tines get any longer next year, he's gonna be a stud.
They're gonna be 12-inch brow tines. Yeah, I bet they're already 8 to 10.
He's a good
this year. He's just pencilly. So, what do you think puts the mass on them? Is it the diet? I mean, is genes in them, or what can you? Is there anything you can do to improve like the growth of that deer from one year to the next?
I mean, we can't. A lot of things you can do. I mean, but whether or not it's legal in your county, you know, like with us, you know, we could feed protein.
Yeah, protein.
Or put out those high calcium mineral sites and stuff like that. We can do stuff like that to kind of build them up a little bit. I mean, yeah, I think so.
Well, is your food? I mean, the only thing we can do is food plots. So
food plots, you're keeping them healthy, and it's giving them nutrients and stuff, you know, and helps them get, you know, healthier and bigger and stuff like that. Where they're, you know, their body's probably pushing more nutrients to the horns, you know, not so much to the body when they got enough stuff to eat like we have out here. But I don't know. I mean, anything you can do ain't gonna hurt them. You know,
like
other than kill them.
Other than killing them, yeah.
That's a lot of it too. It's about the worst thing you can do. They can get no bigger than.
For Mississippi or for us, when they need the most amount of nutrition, you know, just like last year, when their antlers should be growing the most, we were in a drought.
Smooth drought, yeah.
So they're
hard drought.
Hot days. Very hard drought. So who's to say that didn't affect that 8 point to where
could have?
You know, if he'd have been on a good food source and had, you know, water and all that, he could have been a stud. You know, he could have doubled in, you know, mass.
What do you think that drought that we had is going to affect when they drop?
It does.
Antlers?
Yep, it does. Everything I've read said
like I was hoping I'd walk up on one this morning.
I found
really?
a turtle shell this morning. I brought it in here.
And Mark found like 4 shells.
So the turtles
you found 4 of them?
Yeah.
What'd you do with them?
They're still sitting there.
You got
one in Can-Am.
I put this one in there. I found
it. Okay, all right.
I found it at my snake pond.
Is our turtle shedding because of the drought?
Yeah, turtles are shedding. Look at that. Yeah. That turtle crawled smooth out of that one.
Jamie's like, why are you finding so many? I said, I guess they grew out of their shell. They get a bigger hole.
They like them hermit crabs. He crawled up, found another one. He just slid off in it, left that one behind.
But I don't understand. All right, this is completely off subject, but what happens to them? Like, I mean, it ain't even a residue of nothing. It's just like
there wasn't even any bones in that one. What? Something pick that one clean.
That might be some of them summertime headshots.
You think so? No.
Yeah.
I mean, it could.
Some of it.
Well, he was up by that old hay bale, so I doubt it.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was up. You know, those old hay bales are.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you find around the edge of the pond, that's probably me down here shooting them in the summertime.
But there wasn't. This one's as clean as I've seen one.
Even the shell off that.
It's just a shell. It looks like it's been cleaned. Yeah. It's starting to peel a little bit on the edges, but
maybe we're growing more turtles than we are deer now.
Oh, we got plenty of turtles. That's a pretty shell, though.
Turtle farming.
I had a turtle farm when I was a kid.
Man, you talking about farming? I done got hooked on watching Keith Warren on YouTube with these deer farms, and you talking about protein and genetics. Man, them guys, 500, 600-inch deer. I mean, that is absolutely crazy.
I was shocked when they told us that you could take one of the most spikes for 4 points, just a yearling deer, and by a year and a half, that's already a 150-inch deer.
Yeah,
is what they could do to them.
Yep.
And that's like the bare minimum they want you to shoot. You know, that's the first class when you go to one of them. It starts stepping up from 150. So
there's farms.
My 2 or 3 year old, those juggers are pushing over 200 inches.
He said on that particular farm, the highest they've had is high 5s, low 6s.
Do you want to shoot one of those deer, though?
No.
So I don't know if they do.
Genetically modified deer.
There's 3 different farms.
We shoot non-GMOs.
It was a non-typical, a typical, and this one guy got up-and-coming farm. He's doing pieballs. He said nobody else is doing pieballs, so he's doing.
How do you do a pieball?
Just
Thank you.
They just keep manipulating. And
well, he said there's no guarantee that it's going to drop a pieball.
Spritz a little bleach every spring.
If the buck and doe are, you increase your chances of dropping a pieball. But he had a ton of them on his property. But everybody's after this unique feature, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I get it's a trophy, but why not go kill a unique featured cow? I mean, you could do that. It's the same thing.
Yeah. To me, they don't even look like deer. They look like they got a big old root ball on their head. Like they don't. I'd rather have a big gnarly 10-point old chocolate horn with a couple of kickers or something like that. To me, that's a unique deer.
Oh, there was one in farms. It wasn't a full. It was like a mainframe 12 or something like that. But it was more considered a typical. Man, that thing had. It looked like 10-inch bases on it. It was crap. I mean, I know it wasn't that big, but I mean, it was just huge tines on it. But to me, I liked it more than I did the exotic, non-typical looking deal. But
so, say your perfect deer, is it going to be more of the points the better, or is it going to be you have a number of points that you just like the way they look?
I mean, I like kind of the way. I like the way they look. Like I love a deer with a wide spread, and it can be 6, 8 or something like that. As long as it's got decent mass to it, not too pencily. But
the 8 and the 10 walked out in the food plot. Both of them were exactly 160-inch, 170-inch deer. Both of them are the same. Which one you gonna shoot?
I'm shooting. I'm shooting 8.
Shoot the 8.
8. If it's a
8 point,
it's got mass and length.
He's probably gonna be
Or you see what I'm saying? Like roughly same size. But in your opinion, does points actually matter? Because I know there for a while you was hung up on a 10. You wanted your 10.
Well, I just always killed so many 8s. I was like, let's step it up to 10.
And like Waylon, he ain't gonna shoot it unless it's 10.
He don't want an 8. Yeah, he wants. He's killed several 8s and 9 point. So he's looking for a 10 point. I don't have a number like that. I'm just going on a big deer. I want a big body. I want him to be older. I mean, old for me would be 4.5, 5.5. I ain't never killed one. I don't think it's older than that.
So I'd rather have heavy mass, tall than I had.
You like wide?
Than I would a narrow,
yeah,
wide Texas deer. Or not as much mass on it like Texas got.
Man, we've got one that's skyscraper, that basket buck from last year, and then we had pictures of him all season, and then he's disappeared. I don't know if somebody's done killed him.
Fingers crossed.
He was old crab claw 10 this year. But he wasn't. He wasn't
14 inches wide, but he
was tall, man.
If he makes it,
he'll be a stud next year because he'll definitely be 5.5 years old.
I mean, Chuck had said. I don't think that was the same one that we were seeing. But supposedly they had one that was almost 6 years old that they had been seeing. That was tall and heavy, or tall and narrow like that.
That'd be the one thing I wish that you could get going in the areas you was hunting, was communicating with the neighbors and finding out, what deers made it, what deers didn't make it. I wish there was a way that you could get all that going and people would be honest about it. I mean, people are so secretive now about what they shoot. And
oh yeah, and that's
what they're seeing and all that. But
I mean, even though we're not straight shot, maybe it ain't even a mile between both properties. Half a mile, probably straight shot.
Straight shot is it's not.
It's
far.
Total different deer, total different. I guess how the property around us, how they manage, it's totally different.
I think a big thing of that is the food. I mean, those deer that are half a mile, 3/4 of a mile away have way more oak trees and then way more people doing food plots over there as opposed to the deer over here when they're kind of in between two big ranches.
And they're not as trigger happy that way.
Yeah.
And there's also a little bit of agriculture over there. That
there's
guy
some beans
that passed away. He was planting beans on that north end up there pretty regular. And, they didn't have to go far to get in them. These over here would have had to, like James said, they'd have to travel
there is no
mile and a half over there to even get beans.
Yeah, around here. I mean, technically that's the range overlaps. If you put a circle here and a circle over there, your range overlaps pretty good.
But we don't.
But you don't ever see
camera wise. We don't see the same deer from place to place.
I don't think they have to go that far. And I think that's a big thing this year. There was so much food for them. Them deer they're not going to travel for it if they don't have to. They want to eat where it's safe. And so they can stay around their food source. They don't have to go anywhere. I mean, especially the bucks. They're going to stay there and get all fat and sassy.
You stand up, eat egg, and lay back down.
Yeah. What do they eat more?
Bread soups.
Bread and soup.
So talking about that, is there a point to where your food source is so good that, like you say, they don't have to move?
I think
Versus
so.
if you had, say you had 500 acres and you had 2 big food plots, or you had 10 little food plots, the movement's going to be bigger on the 2 big food plots. You're going to see more, I would think.
I mean, just because you can probably see more land. I don't know if it just depends on how safe they feel around there. I mean, they want shelter, they want a place to bed, they want food, and they want access to water. That's all they want. And safety. That's the big thing.
Now, one thing about like the big food plots is you can plant like an actual agriculture crop in there, beans or corn or something, and hold deer in that. Where like if you planted a 1 acre patch of beans or we tried that 1 acre patch of corn, they'll wipe it out.
Yeah,
and it's just a dead food plot there then. So you got more opportunity, I think, to see more deer on those bigger ones because you're holding more around. That's just where they know to come feed. I
did notice, like on the bigger plots this year, I hunted the pine plantation plot a lot this year.
I never sat in this stand this year.
You never sat in once? And I didn't see near the deer in that plot that I normally do. But the smaller plots had the deer, like Crossroads. I mean,
Crossroads is hot
that plot's
this year.
not that. I mean, it's decent size. It's a couple acres, but it was nothing to go in there. And you're going to see deer every sit. I don't think I ever got skunked in that stand.
See, I was the same way with that north fence line and the heartbreak stand that I hunted. I seen deer every time I sat in both of those.
Yeah.
Bucks.
They were slipping around the edges.
Yeah. Well, crossing over the food plot back and forth, hell, I had an 8-point walk up in the door over there at the heartbreak. Mm-hmm. He walked right by the side by side and walked up right up to the back of the steps.
So that's what you're talking about, the food plot and drought. One of the guys I talked to this weekend, he said that's the worst thing you can do is put your whole program in one food source. Like say you planted beans, whatever. Then we got that drought and it all burnt up. Then you're left all fall or all winter with nothing. He said, don't go crazy and do 15 or 20 different, species of food plots or whatever, but have more than definitely one option where you got to back up something that's going to withstand moisture more or something that's going to withstand drought more.
And so that's what we went back to this year. When we planted all those fall food plots and stuff, we went back to, we put a nurse crop over our clover, but most of our little trails and roads and things like that, all of those are clover now. Mm-hmm. So, we'll be able to maintain that for a few years and have something there, which drought hits is going to mess it up. But, you got something year round right there and a different option for them too. I mean, they eat the crap out of that clover.
Oh, they love it. It's one of the preferred things to eat.
But then our bigger field and some of our other, killing plots, we got a rotated field in those, we're planting something for the summer and then something for the fall. And we'll just deplete those as we go into those different seasons.
What are we going to do different? Because I tell you what, me and Mikey walked through the wall this morning. It's a freaking wall.
It's thick.
Holy smokes.
It's super thick.
I mean, I don't think we've done too much of it. I think it just too much grew, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't like the layout of it. I think was ideal. It just ended up between bush hogging and seed, and it just come up a little bit thicker this year than
it's thick.
It's super thick. Ain't no joke. I'm
pretty sure. I mean, I think our best op just to see if this theory works or not. Because it seemed like they didn't do what I thought they would do in that growing the wall. I figured they'd just be laying in it and they really didn't lay in it. I mean, they kind of used it as a passage to move around the fields and stuff like that. But
you can see trails all through it.
Yeah, and I think that unnatural edge, it's supposed to have been a natural edge, and we planted something that was not native to around here, not natural to around here, and it took them a little bit to get used to it, and they were a little skittish of it.
But one of the guys I talked to this past weekend, I was telling him about it. He said, "Don't quit doing it." He said, yeah, maybe you had it too thick. He said, and this guy manages high fence and he does a bunch of guides, and he said, don't quit doing it.
Did you say not to quit doing like the Sudan grass and the
I just said growing the wall, and I Sudan grass, the only thing I can remember off the top of my head we had, but he just said we probably just either put too much seed out or it was seed left from last year that we put back over and it come back up. But he said, yeah, you don't quit doing it.
Well, that was our thoughts. We were going to try to let the native
I'll just
like
bush
Johnson
hog it down.
grass, whatever would grow, and just let it grow in those places and see how it did.
Because some of those seed heads that are out there, there's still seed on them. So I was thinking just bush hog it down and whatever naturally comes back up.
With it,
give it a shot at that.
Yeah, so it'll be a mix of sage.
Would
Johnson
you fertilize it?
Probably not.
One thing that made that take off is we fertilize lime so much.
Yeah.
And when you fertilize that stuff or lime the ground's right, man, that stuff got. Well, we thought it was going to do 6 to 8 foot. Heck, it was 12, 14 foot in places.
It was up.
It's like a jungle.
What did you notice this morning? We walked through it, and I guess with all that rain last week, South Trump Field probably had water standing in it.
Yeah.
And, man, it was like seed heads on the dirt hundreds and thousands. It looked like you poured it out of a bag. And I guess it floated out of that growing the wall, and it was the whole 4-wheeler trail was just covered in them.
So what's that going to do for the turkeys? Because I figured they would like to move through that. If there's seeds and stuff. The birds, when you go out there in the evening and early morning.
You don't see a bird when you deer hunt, something wrong.
It's like National Geographic. They are everywhere in it. It's thousands of them.
Yeah, they like that. The birds definitely like it. So, I figured the turkeys will probably get in there and mess around. And
I guess that's next on the list is turkey season.
Yeah. Do a little squirrel and rabbit hunting, a little fishing.
Yeah, we did some squirrel hunting this morning.
We loaded up. Had a limit of one.
Got a limit of one in a coon, one in a kicker.
Hey, that coon kicker. He was a Boone Crockett. He's a big coon.
I wasn't with y'all. I was down the ditch when that happened. Was he just laying up an old tree? What was going on with the coon?
Well, Jamie shot the squirrel over my head and didn't tell nobody.
No, I did. I said,
Jamie said, "Are you ready?"
Yeah. And I thought you walked off the hill towards Malcolm, but
the squirrel almost landed on me when he shot it.
Did it?
Yeah. Then we got over there and the old coon was a tree right next to where Jamie killed that squirrel. And I guess the coon done burrowed down off of it. I just happened to see his little fuzzy tail up there, and I was darn. I thought it was a squirrel at first, but got to looking at a big old fat coon, so we went ahead and saved a few turkeys' lives and got rid of him. So.
Get rid of every one of them you see.
Well, we technically got 2 coons today. One of them was just stubborn.
You think that one's in that nest? You think that was a coon?
Yeah. It was something fuzzy up there.
I think we all shut up in there.
Might have been a chupacabra or something, but it was something up there.
If he was up there, he ain't happy, I promise you.
But no, I'd like to do some more squirrel hunting. I never have luck. It never fails. When I go squirrel hunting, I see deer. When I go deer hunting, I see squirrels.
That's the first thing we saw this morning.
3 deer, 4 deer going in.
Mm-hmm. We got plenty to do. And we got some. Be a pretty eventful spring, I'd imagine. Got a lot going on between turkey season, squirrel hunting, maybe a little rabbit.
I'm all down for some rabbit and some squirrel. Turkey ain't no priority or me personally. I'll go, but as far as being a diehard turkey hunter, I'm not.
You're not crazy about it?
If I ever go and kill one, it might be different. But I've never killed a turkey.
I hadn't either.
And I hadn't been. No.
I was with Mikey last year. He killed one.
Pretty much the hunting season has been mediocre and duck season has sucked.
Yeah, what's up with the ducks? Did y'all go sit in the blind?
We went and sat last Friday morning.
Tell us about that.
And we went and sat. That's exactly what we did. We went and sat.
You was bird watching?
Yeah, bird watching. And we didn't even have no birds to watch. There was some turkeys come out in the duck hole. That was
turkeys in the duck hole.
They didn't get in the water, but they walked around the edge. And we ended up go out there and cook breakfast, I think. We had a big spread of breakfast, but that was about it. We seen
plenty of water.
Geese. Yeah, we had plenty of water, but not a single duck. But buddy of mine, duck season will be over by the time this comes out. But he wouldn't be getting mad for me telling him they had a pretty darn good hunt. They wasn't about. He's probably 3 miles as a bird flies from us, 2 maybe. He ain't far.
They had birds.
They had birds, but they're just now getting here, and I think that's the thing is. I think the migration has changed. I think there's overabundance of water and duck holes and food for them now. But I think also the migration is gradually moving later and later in the year. And I honestly feel like, man, it ought to be something done to where they push duck season back a month. Like let it go from, mid-December to end of February, Because, it ain't froze up good up north yet, they hadn't had a bunch of snow up there to push them down here to begin with.
And I talked to Michael yesterday coming back from Arkansas, and that lease they're in over there, he said they've been over there since Thursday or Friday, and he says I think they killed 8 ducks is all between the whole weekend, and they're usually slammed with ducks.
That was in.
They're over there not too far. I believe it's not too far from Stuttgart.
Some people kill some around that freeze though. That we had all that ice and stuff. Several friends of Will's and friends of mine that they posted some pictures and stuff where they killed several, you know, a couple limits of ducks around that freeze. I noticed when I was at Randy's cooking, there was ducks all in their lake behind the house, you know, that normally ain't there. You know, it was mallards and shovelers and just any kind of duck you could think of that was lighting out there when that ice was on the ground. When stuff froze up, and had nowhere else to go.
It definitely ain't like it was when I first started, you know, which I went with Hunter and his dad when I was a kid. And I mean, it wasn't nothing to go out there. We'd kill 6 or 8 or 10 every time we went, you know what I mean? And that was on government land.
That was average day.
Yeah, that was just a normal day. Like, that wasn't nothing fancy. And then, you know, we hunted a bunch. And after I got out of college, started working, we had a couple holes in Tunica, and we had several just jam up, you know, ones to remember type duck hunts. And then I got out of it for a couple of years and just deer hunted. And we started getting back into it here recently. And it ain't the same as what it was 15, 20 years ago at all.
When you talk to the landowners, they're the first ones to tell you there ain't no ducks. I mean, not what they call ducks.
There's no reason, you know, just like we got these few fields flooded. I mean, there's grain out there. I mean, it's a perfect duck hole. You got a rice field, you got a flooded bean field, you got timber, you got a natural wetland, you got everything there. There should be ducks.
Got a river for them to fly.
Got a river. I mean, what more do they need? But I mean, it's just like we were talking about last week when me and Jamie went over to Arkansas. If
it had water, it had a duck blind in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many duck holes now, and it's, you know, it's almost like a fad of hunting. You know, everybody jumps into it because it's a cool thing to do, and there's duck hunters everywhere. And I mean, it's great for the hunting industry, but it's not so great for your average duck hunter. If you don't have a duck farm to grow those ducks, or, you know, that's your main focus, just like deer hunting is to us, you really don't have a shot. You know, you got to get lucky, but you're not going to have the ducks like it was 20 years ago.
Man, if they ever get turkey hunting on that scale, you'll never kill no turkey again.
I mean, 20 years ago when I lived on the edge of the bluff, and I don't know, I had a couple thousand acres of hunting down there. There was, when you come off that bluff, you could just see the birds in the sky. I mean, just geese and ducks as far as you could freaking see. And they stayed in there. I mean, all night long. You'd be outside cooking on the grill or something, and you'd hear, you know, geese flying over at night and stuff. It was something to see back then. But it ain't. The other day when I rode down there, it was nothing.
Oh, white geese you're going to see, but that's all you're going to see.
I mean, the snow geese weren't as abundant as they were years past.
Last year we was covered up in them.
I'm talking tens of thousands.
And I don't think we've seen a single goose on either one of those fields.
Yeah, I rode through the Delta last Friday, and I found one field that was covered up with snow geese. And there's a bunch of them, but that was the only one I saw. And usually every mile or so, you'll find a field covered up with them.
Well, I guess we did have pretty good duck hunting by Hellia. I mean, it's got a pretty good migration route over there. So
that's the sure thing there. You know they're going to be migrating from the roost pen to the feed pond
to the feed
You're going to be a bad shot and limit out over there.
That's pretty much high fence duck hunting.
It is.
I mean, that's all it is.
Real high fence.
Yeah.
But Jamie, what'd you get into last weekend?
Man, I had one. Heck, me and Brad went. So we help out the Ark Butler Physically Challenged, and met a guy down there that's from Hope Outdoors, and me and Brad decided to go see what it's about. And hands down, I've had one of the best weekends with them guys. I mean, it was a 5-hour drive for us, but it was.
What part of Mississippi was it?
It was between Tylertown. It was a town called Columbia, which is between Tylertown and not Vicksburg, but Hattiesburg. So it's about 4.5, 5-hour drive. But
y'all went barbecuing down at Tylertown, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Coming up in a couple of weeks.
No, we had a real good time. It ended up being 25 disabled hunters, and
that's a good group.
Oh yeah, we had, and it's a little bit different. So on the Hope Outdoors deal, you have a central location everybody meets at, and then landowners donate their land, and they have guides that you go set up on their property, and you hunt their property. So it's totally different than what we do at the Ark Butler Physically Challenge hunt, but it was a great time.
Who are the guides? Are they
guides are either landowners or people that hunt their land and have permission. So they
kind of know the land.
Yeah. They know the land, or where the stands are at, the blinds at, and they stay with the property, and they just move hunters from. Like a hunter might hunt, this property this afternoon, and he'll hunt a different property tomorrow afternoon. But the landowners, whoever's affiliated with the land, stays at the same land throughout the hunt.
Is it mostly farmers and stuff?
Yeah, it's a bunch of farmers. But then them guys, like I say, hands down, they're top notch, donating hundreds and thousands of acres of land to let these guys come hunt. It was
they probably ain't got no restrictions on them deer down there either, do they?
It kind of depends. It actually was one property owner's like, I mean, you ain't gonna shoot nothing but a doe, and there was some deer on that guy's property, but all he was letting them shoot with does. And then it was another guy. I know it was one, maybe two high fence properties they hunted that had real good deer on. But
they actually hunt. They let them hunt in the high fence.
Yeah,
they killed some good deer. Some of
it was
if
I remember, I might be off my numbers. I think it was 9 does and 4 or 5 bucks killed, and it was 2 bucks that was showing up good deer, real good deer.
How many days did y'all hunt?
Just Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon.
Okay, so
you got to understand. I was kind of, like I said, I went in unknown. I really didn't know how this is going to be compared to what I've been used to. And man, it takes, if we hunt a morning hunt, it takes some of them 3 and 4 hours just to get up and ready and everything set up in the chair. So I mean, I understand you got to get up early to do a morning hunt. So the evening hunts work out better. We used to meet and eat lunch and then get out probably 2:30 and go get in the stand or blind or whatever we're in, and they hunt. They're dedicated. It don't matter rain, shine, snow, cold. Them guys and women both. They stay out there and hunt.
So did you get to actually sit in the blind with some of them?
Yeah. Ordinarily, you're the landowner or the person representing the land, the handicap hunter or disabled hunter, and then somebody that's liable or affiliated with them. So and then like a lot of guys running cameras. So it was 4 of us in the blind Friday and 3 Saturday, and then Brad split off Saturday, and it was 5 in there with him Saturday. And so
what kind of blinds are they all like homemade or?
No, they're actually pop-up blinds that are, I mean, it was me, Brad, Keith's in a track chair, and Bruce, our guide, and you could put 3 more people in it. They're bigger than they're big ground
like
blinds.
Tailgate tent.
Yeah, they're big.
Hey, that'd be a pretty good setup right there.
It would.
I mean,
is that how these were? Where they actually like had
they didn't have
pop up, or were they easy up canopy style?
Yeah. It was like the regular blinds we got. Sides pop out, but it was pretty much like a regular ground blind, but 2 or 3 times as big.
Could they get in the door?
Yeah. So it's not a zipper door like we're used to. It's in where the blind makes a corner. The corner unzips, so you just kind of open the corner up. You roll the track chair, wheelchair, whichever one you have in there, and then fold it back together and zip it down. And then all of them are pretty much shooting. If they're able, they're shooting a bog pod tripod to hold their gun, and it was a couple of them shooting mechanical devices, and that was my favorite.
And did you hunt with anybody that used one of those?
No, we set a lady up with mechanical, and that was.
How does that work?
Man, I was blown away with how high tech it is.
Yeah.
So your gun clamps in a vise, and the vise is either attached to their chair, or it's a platform on the ground that holds it, and it clamps in there. You got a battery that runs all your mechanical part of it, and you can adjust how fast the gun swings up and down, left and right.
So is the
gun is
tripod or whatever actually moving?
Yes, the gun is clamped on there, and it'll move side to side, up and down, and you got a little joystick. You control how fast it goes, and then it's almost like a compression fitting for plumbing that slides over the eyepiece of the scope, and it blocks off, and it goes cord over it, and you got a screen that's going to show the crosshairs on the screen, because this girl or lady, she couldn't pull the trigger nothing with her hands, so they adjusted the gun, got it on with the deer, and she had some of them are suck tubes and some of them are blow tubes they put in her mouth, and when she sucks in, man, it squeezes the trigger that quick. It
was instant.
It's deadly. It's instant.
Did she end up taking a deer?
She killed I believe she killed a doe Friday afternoon.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I'm telling you, man, it's unreal. And if we went because we met Brent at Arca Butler Hunt, and then Keith, our buddy from Texarkana, wanted to go. So we're like, me and Brad's like, well, we're gonna go. We're committed. And man, if you ever get a chance to sit in a blind or hang out with Keith, I promise you're gonna hurt yourself laughing. That guy is absolutely hilarious.
He took my old 260.
Yeah. So.
It's already hunted with?
Yeah. So Jamie, I said, now look, let him dry fire it. I said, because the trigger's been worked on this gun there. I was like, it's hair now. You got to touch it.
Yeah.
He said it was a hair trigger. So it was pretty quick.
The difference is and it's the safety aspect of it is at the Arca Butler Hunt, you're a little bit closer quarters. It's a primitive weapon down there, so pretty much muzzleload, shotgun, whatever. And then down here on private, you can hunt rifle. You can hunt shotgun, whichever one you want. So Keith really didn't have his rifle wasn't set up yet, and so Martin loaned us his, and he got a shot on deer. He hit it. We think he hit it a little bit high in the leg. We didn't recover it. We put dogs on it, and I wish I could think of that guy's name, but his dogs were their machine, and we tracked it, and it wasn't a kill shot on it.
How far did y'all follow?
She probably 400 yards probably, and it was bleeding. You could just tell it was just I think it was a
like
high leg.
Not in the vital.
Yeah, it wasn't a vital shot, but
probably survived.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely. But it's a lot goes on. Yeah, it's a pretty good 6-point.
Oh.
Pretty good 6-point. And Keith learned me something that I've never seen or thought of. They use something different down in South Mississippi we can't use up here. It's called deer positioning pellets or deer positioning nuggets.
What is that? Some kind of bait?
Corn.
Oh, deer positioning nuggets.
Yeah, he's like, man, we're staying here. We got these deer positioning nuggets out here. And I was like, oh, what? He said, deer positioning nuggets. So, yeah, that's code name for corn.
Pretty good right there.
It's coon positioning nuggets around here. We put it out. Can't keep the coons off of it.
Keith needs to be a spokesperson for that nose jammer cover spray, because I carried him a can. We was in a hotel about 12 o'clock that night, a couple of guys all down there, and I had to go get it so he could demonstrate how it works. And we had the whole lobby smelling like vanilla. I mean, it was.
I used some of it last night, Jamie. I even made a little video. I was like, we're gonna put it to the test.
It's kind of overwhelming about what it smells. You wouldn't associate it with sitting in a deer stand.
Heck no, I had my whole thing smelling like that cookies or something. I was like, deer gonna think I'm up in here eating little dead.
We used it, and the guy's in the blind with us. He's like, I don't know about this, Keith. And when we left, he said, I'm a believer in it. I'm buying some.
Really?
Oh yeah, that buck we had the deer that come downwind from us never smelt us. They were spooked by the blind. We had 2 deer did spook off the blind, but they never. It was them seeing a blind scared them more than I don't think they smelt us at all.
Was blinds? Do they brush them in, or they just set them out?
Some of them were brushed in, and then some of them was setting up. Like the second day, it was just set up over food plot. Now they don't have trees down there like oak trees like we got. It's pretty much it's pines and briars. That's pretty much what they got. So it was backed up into the pines a little bit, but they still. That's what me and the guy was talking. I've never had much luck around here at the blind unless I put it out and it sits there. Also, they kind of pick up on it pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to consider all these properties have been hunted all year, and the deer they're not used to seeing the blinds there. Well, I'm dedicated now. I'm gonna do some several more Hope Outdoor hunts.
So how often do they have those? Is it?
So they break it up in chapters, which is zones pretty much.
So you were in South Mississippi zone, I'm guessing, or
yeah. So I mean, we got a new one up here in Northwest Mississippi. New one this year. So let's see, it's Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. I think is the states that and I think that it is Arkansas. They do get a couple in Arkansas. So you can kind of find what's close to you, your zone, and get in touch with the chapter director, and you can either get application if you're able to, something you want to qualify for hunting, or you can get application to be a guide or help out or do whatever.
So they give the applications to the farmers to sign up for donating the property, or
I don't know. I wish I could find out more detail on how they reach out to landowners, but I mean that's pretty daggum cool that you got these guys that they've worked all year to have something for them and their family to hunt, and they're no questions asked opening doors for a disabled hunter to come hunt. That's pretty daggum cool.
I think so too.
And it is some very, very nice properties we got to hunt this past weekend. So
what were their food plots like down South Mississippi?
The first one we hunted, it was I had I guess it's like winter wheat and stuff they stayed out in. I didn't see any vetch. Now the guy that I talked to that was I believe he has a high fence down there. He said hands down clover vetch, top 2 things, and he was a firm believer in vetch, and he is associated with the Imperial clover too. So he showed me some clover and vetch plots they got, and they're jam up. But I mean, like I say, it's just I don't think the soil is the best down there with all the pine trees like it would be, an agricultural area. But I mean, the plots look good, and of course they can run feeders and corn down there too. So that was and protein. So that was a big plus.
You see any big deer while you're hunting?
No. When we was hunting, I did not see nothing. That 6-point, the Keith's only, I guess that's the only buck I've seen. Now, as far as the one that killed, that one Chase, I can't think his last name. He killed a heck of a deer. It was a real good deer. I got a couple pictures. The picture don't do it justice at all. It's a real good deer. So I'm ready to go back.
Yeah. Do they do those for Hope Outdoors for turkey fishing or turkey hunting and fishing and stuff like that too?
Yep, they do. They actually got a Northwest chapter up here. I think they're going to be based out of White, Mississippi, which is probably 45 minutes east of us. They're going to do a turkey hunt. So they're looking for landowners around here that's North Mississippi that will offer up their property for the turkey hunters.
No, that's a good farmer right there if he offers up turkey hunting.
Well, but still, so this is what me and Brad was talking is deer hunting. You set up in a location that you're expecting deer to come to you. Mm-hmm. Turkey's complete opposite. So you
got to chase the turkey, right?
It's hard to get
for the most part.
Yeah, it's hard to get these guys in a chair and a device and a limited mobility to get on a gun to shoot a deer. So turkey hunting, I mean, they can do it and they can do it. I don't doubt them least bit, but it's definitely got to be a harder challenge.
So how do you think that's going to work? They're going to try to.
You're going to set up a blind to do the same thing?
Try to roost them the night before.
The night before, set the blind up at dark. And that way they can just pull straight up there and let him out, get in the blind.
That's the only way you could do it. And then hope they came to you.
If you wait till morning trying to locate a bird, you got to.
No way you could get.
You got to have
15 to 30 minutes before that sun gets up high enough. He's going to come down.
Yeah.
In most places, and you ain't gonna have enough time to.
You've got to have a game plan lined up, and
seems like that would be a lot more challenging for sure.
And what's so bad about it is the majority of these hunters, men and women, don't have track chairs because insurance and most insurance companies consider it a recreational vehicle, so they won't fund it. And just a base track chair, you're $15,000-$20,000, pretty dang easy. And that's what's sad, that you spend all this money in taxes, you spend all this money, and the government won't help or support stuff like this, or insurance companies don't usually. And a regular wheelchair, a power chair, I talked to a guy this weekend, he's $62,000 for just a base power chair. I mean, it's nothing. Yeah. It ain't going to go, you can't go hunting on it. Right. I mean, if it's hard ground, you could, I guess, but as far as actually going hunting it, you can't. So that's where Hope Outdoors does these fundraisers, and they raise money. So we had probably 6 or 8 track chairs available.
They were donated for use?
Well, actually, Hope Outdoors, they do the Turkey Federation does a banquet. They'll do a Hope Outdoors banquet to raise money to buy shooting devices, which are a full-on shooting device. You can drop $4,000 pretty easy on one. Mm-hmm. So your shooting devices, the bog pogs, they got several of them things work great. And then the track chairs, they'll buy a track chair at of course, they can't buy them for every single one of them because there's so much money, but they'll buy a track chair. Some people to donate them, let them use them for the weekend.
So that's what they do, though. So the actual handicapped person doesn't have to have all this equipment.
Right. Yeah.
They can show up, and then they might even have a gun for them to use.
Yeah. Yes. It was several landowners and several guys this weekend that if you needed a gun, if you needed a gun sighted in, they had a range. They'd go sight the gun in. I mean, the whole weekend is dedicated to these hunters, and they pretty much. The church down there and all the women and everybody that cook, man, everything's taken care of for these hunters. They're trying to make the best 2 days that you can possibly make for them.
So did y'all get to hang out, just socialize too?
So they served dinner or lunch around 12, but we got there at probably 10. It was people already there, and they all just. I mean, you got some of the guys. It's the only time for a whole year they get to hunt.
Yeah,
and it's like a big, huge family reunion for them. They get, and majority of them. Yeah, they want to kill a deer, but they're so happy to see their buddies and sit down and talk with somebody that they can connect with. And
it's like going deer camp.
Yeah, and they have just as good a time doing that as they do hunting. But it's like I say, Hope Outdoors I was thoroughly impressed how well it was ran.
Did I see it right on their Facebook page? They done a duck hunt too or something?
I know.
Or somebody shared a picture of a guy out there looked like in a duck hole in a track chair.
It might have been.
Man, imagine how hard that would be to get somebody to the duck line.
Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure that's how I understood the photo. I think.
I know they do the turkey and a couple of different chapters where the location at. They do a little bit of fishing stuff too.
Yeah.
No, if anybody definitely interested, definitely look into doing it. Like I say, whether you're wanting to donate time or money or funds or whatever, you won't be disappointed.
Just to help out.
Yeah. Between that and the Ark Butler Fiddling Challenge hunt, I'm booked up. I'm ready to go. I get way, way, way more out of it than I could possibly give back. I mean,
yeah, you'd rather do that instead of shoot a deer.
I really.
I mean, that's awesome.
Me and Brad have figured out we're hooked on it now. We're gonna book up. We're gonna try to do at least 5 Hope Outdoor hunts next year.
Yeah,
and there's several good ones in Alabama I'd like to go to, and just I don't know how to explain it. You got to do it to explain it. Put it down in the books. I mean, it does. You do got to have recovery time. I was kind of exhausted.
What time did y'all get home? Late Sunday or?
No, we left out. Believe it or not, we was probably at the hotel the most capable people of getting everything loaded up and getting going, and we didn't leave till 10 o'clock. And I don't know, it's probably 3 o'clock time we got home.
That wasn't bad though. Because y'all didn't hunt Sunday evening. That's right.
Yeah. It's just a Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon at most hunts. Some of them do morning hunts, but most of them are just afternoon hunts.
I'm going to have to go next year.
Oh, I'm already decided that Abby's 708 is going to be set up to. That's what I'm going to start carrying to the hunts for hunters to use. I'm going to get it set up where it's lightweight and easy
dialed
to handle.
in.
Yep.
Excuse me. Yep. Mark, we started working on the 22 any?
I hadn't turned no wrenches on it yet.
Yeah.
It's sighted in as is somewhat, but I've been doing a little research on barrels and.
Have you got some, like, what you're going to do just to make improvements on it? So, basically, you're just updating it, right?
Yeah, the gun's in pretty decent shape. I probably had that gun for 15 years, probably at least.
It's a Ruger?
Ruger 1022. And it's one of the, cheapest ones you can buy. So, I don't even think the
Academy version.
Yeah, the barrel ain't even finished. I think it's got gray spray paint or something on it. I don't know what's on it, but. We're gonna jazz
pretty
it
dang. That's what I shot this morning. That it was pretty daggum accurate. It hit that limb.
No, it shoots good, but we're gonna make it shoot better. I'm gonna try to do one. They make a ultralight barrel that's, I think it's some type of hollowed aluminum or something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure. I got to finish my research, but I think the barrel itself only weighs 12 or 14 ounces. It's not even a pound.
Yeah.
And then they make a stock same way. You can get that gun built out and it weighed just 3.5, 4 pounds.
So what'll be original? It's the receiver?
Receiver, maybe. And you can buy the receiver. That's the thing. You can build a 1022
just out of parts
and never buy a single product from Ruger.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
Oh, it's all aftermarket
stuff.
It's all aftermarket
stuff. You can buy a billet receiver and, any kind of barrel. You want to do a carbon fiber barrel or whatever. you can spend $300 or $400. You can spend $3,000 or $4,000. It just depends on what you want to do. But
so what's your budget to soup it up?
$500.
You're gonna try to do it for $500.
I can go buy 2 more of them brand new, but I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I just keep swinging. Closer.
Not really. I bought one recently just because I wanted another 22, and I just bought a regular one from Sportsman's. I think it was what we looked the other day. $299, $300.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's the rifle. It doesn't come with a scope or anything. You still got to put, if you're gonna put something on it, you still got to buy rings or a mount and buy your optic. But you're gonna be with the decent stuff on it. You're still gonna be $600.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the biggest ticket item. Is gonna be the scope. I got a little, what I call it, center point. It's a $25 scope from Walmart. It's cheap as it'll get out. But it's still fairly clear and it shoots good. But I'm either gonna do the Leopold, however y'all want to say it, the rimfire scope, or me and Jamie were looking at scopes yesterday. Athlon. The same scope I got.
They make a rimfire?
They make a rimfire.
I bet it weighs more. I bet it's heavy though.
Because I got mine out this morning, gonna bring it, and I got a Walmart Simmons, and I turned the magnification. It sounded like it had BBs in it. It was a little ratchety.
What'd you call it? A Simon scope?
Simons, yeah.
Simons. That was the first scope I ever had on a rifle.
Man, that gun up there has been throwed in the back of a side-by-side four-wheeler, shot turtles, shot snakes. It don't know how many thousand rounds have been shot. I don't even know how accurate it is no more. It's been shot so many times.
So what's the idea for the video? You want to shoot? You're going to shoot yours?
So
see how it compares to a brand new one.
Yeah, you got a brand new one, and we're going to do a little comparison there just to see.
I might throw the scope on over Remington and see how it stacks up.
He got me a little 22 target system thing. It's pretty daggum tough.
Yeah.
Because it's one of these. It's got the little feet on, the little legs on the end, kind of like an old swing set.
Yeah.
A-frame swing set. And then it's every so often, it's got these little rods that come down. It's got a little target on the end. And what are they go to a bigger one, which the bigger one's not very big.
Yeah, the biggest one might be a 3-inch, maybe, or 2.
I don't even think it's.
I think it's a 2-inch. I think it starts at 2.
Yeah,
and it goes all the way down to
smaller than the daggum rod.
half-inch or 3/8 of an inch is the smallest one.
I think it goes 2 to 3/4 or 2 to half.
At 50 yards, that smallest one is small.
And I got the idea. I got to watch a guy on YouTube. I forgot what the name of his channel is, but he's got a deal. If you want to go try it, it's a contest thing he does, and it's know your limit. And it's just like you're playing blackjack. So I think he sets this for a high-powered rifle. He sets it up at 500 yards, and it's the same situation. You go from, I think it's an 8-inch plate all the way down to a 2-inch plate at 500 yards. And you get X amount of points. You try to get as close to 21 as possible without missing. And if you miss, you go back to 0.
Yeah.
At 500 yards, what gun you shooting?
Like most of them guys are shooting like custom built, like
it ain't
6.5. It ain't 22.
Yeah, it ain't 22.
But I seen one person out of the ones I watch, ain't but a handful of people, but I seen one guy actually do it in one swoop. Just
hit all of them.
Hit all of them. And he's one of them. He's pretty good shot. But so I found this one is 422s, and you set it up at 50 yards or 30 or whatever, you know. We got a little cocky the first time. We set it about 75. Man, we didn't. We hit the first 2, and that was it.
That's about it, yeah.
See,
we moved it on up a little bit.
There's once a game I seen similar to that, but you have one and I have one.
Swing it back and forth?
Well, you could shoot yours and count your points. Or if you were real confident and your buddy missed, you could shoot his and you got like double points if you hit the one he missed. Yeah. So it's kind of like shooting. When you line up shooting skeets, if you miss and I bust your skeet, I get your point and you're out or whatever. It's kind of like that, but you're not knocking each other out. You're just stealing their points. But
so I've seen the ones where you got to swing them all to one side.
Yeah,
yeah.
You try to get all theirs on their side before they, and you're just constantly shooting them back and forth. But
people don't think about it like a pellet rifle or a 22 or something that you get out there and just shoot that's cheap and affordable to go shoot improves you on all your big guns.
Absolutely.
I mean, you kind of go through the motion and get used to shooting, and you know, it's one of them things that just the more you shoot, the better you get. And
trigger control and just, you know, learning the weight of the gun, being able to hold still with the gun, your breathing and all that. It's
a lot of muscle memory that goes on that you don't realize when it goes to shooting like that.
Because we all notice that. I mean, we don't hardly shoot through the summer no more. We used to a little bit, but now we just, you know, sight the guns in, go deer hunting, you know, and I noticed looking through the scope stuff, trying to hold still sometimes. I got to remind myself, you know, all right, calm down, breathe right, and all that stuff, you know, before you take your shot.
I seen one of our clips from last week's podcast talking about the deer taking a step at 300 yards. It shouldn't matter because your bullet's going 2,800 feet a second or whatever. He said the math ain't mathing. That's what obviously he never shot none at 300 yards. Like,
yeah.
And that's what people don't realize is, like you're saying, going through the motions, like that's a whole timing thing that you have to come up with or that you're used to, that you say, all right, I'm fixing to take this shot. It's all through steps that you do anywhere from, you know, moving your trigger finger from the stock to the trigger, flip the safety off. All that's something you do and you go through the motions. And it's kind of like once you commit to pull that trigger, your mind's already shot the gun. You know, it's a couple split second that goes on there that you really can't react. So even if you've committed to pull that trigger and that deer takes a step, you're already committed. Like you've already done it, you know? So going through all those motions, even on a light caliber gun or a 22 or pellet rifle, whatever, is only benefiting you. You may not see the improvement, but eventually you're going to realize how much difference it makes. You know, it's going to be over a long period of time, but I enjoy it. And it's
a lot cheaper. I mean, you know, you can go buy a box of 22 shells and shoot them for $30, you know? I mean, what's that big box of Thunderbolts cost?
Yeah, 30, 25, 30
It ain't
bucks.
much for 500 shells.
It ain't as cheap as it used to be.
Yeah. But, I mean, you ain't going to shoot that much of your big gun.
I mean, it's like when we was out there New Year's, we got it put together, and me and you got shooting, and we spent an hour out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good time, and got to poking fun back and forth, and I still think I was the only one to hit all of them. But
you were. I don't think I hit that little one yet.
That little one's hard to see. It's teeny. We need to get some like fluorescent paint and put on the tip. Or
something to see. I need to sit down and work on that one. But when you're shooting something that small, I mean, it's tough.
That and you learn your gun.
You shoot a squirrel's eye out if you can hit that thing. I promise you can.
The older you get, the worse the shot you get too. I can tell you that.
Oh, I guarantee my eyes aren't near what they used to be.
No,
That's a missing
I have
me.
to put the old binoculars out, and then when I look out of them, my eyes are still all fuzzy, and I got to get back adjusted again, and then
That's what messes me up now that I have to wear glasses to see far off. I can't look through a scope with my glasses on.
I can't
or
either.
binoculars.
That's
And
why
I
I
done
do
tried, and I can't get it. It's blurry or hazy looking, so I'm steady glasses on, glasses off all the time.
got to get some contacts.
I need to try. I said I was going to try it. I went to the eye doctor the other day. I said I was going to talk to him about contacts, but I didn't.
My problem is now I can't see good up close because my contacts fix my far off, but
You get the bifocals.
getting that old person's
You get the
eyes,
bifocals.
that's what I need. So if I'm in the deer stand, I'm looking at my phone or something, and I look off, I can't see nothing. It's like so I had to keep that phone in the pocket.
I'm just blind. It don't matter. I can't see squat.
But I will hunt with binoculars because that saves me. I'm constantly scanning or looking.
Oh
with
yeah,
them,
I'm not. If I feel totally out of place if I happen to get to the stand and forget my binoculars.
See, I used to never take binoculars. Never.
just your rifle.
Just my rifle. And until we started hunting down here, is only the first time I ever bought a pair of binoculars.
Really?
So I hadn't been hunting with them but a couple of years, and I'm like Jamie. I can't. It's like it's my crutch. I got to have it now.
I would like to have the binoculars I got now are great wood hunting in the woods, but I would like to have a little bit bigger pair for hunting box stand. They'd be too heavy to be toting all the time to the woods and stuff, but I would like to have a little bit better pair. I don't know if Athlon, they make binoculars.
That's
too,
what
don't
I
they?
got.
Is it?
And I mean, I didn't buy the expensive set, but I got them, and they were like $170, but they're pretty dang clear for the money. I've liked them. What y'all got on deck today?
Man, I got to shoot old Buck Junkie deer camp recipe.
What you cooking?
I'm doing chicken enchiladas. Y'all gonna come eat some when y'all get through doing the video. I'm gonna need some taste testers.
Yeah, we're gonna knock down a few more squirrels.
You gonna try to shoot a few more squirrels?
Got to.
It's gonna
Ain't
be
got but one.
it's gonna be a show enough short if you don't.
Who's gonna shoot the 22s with you?
I don't mind. We can get out there and do whatever. We'll put something together, make it good. Might try to find me some. Ain't it some marking paint out there in the shop? Didn't we have some for something?
I don't think so. I don't remember seeing any.
I don't
Shell
think-
might have something over there.
Well, we might
painting
have.
skulls
Well, there's
with.
some at the shop at
Yeah, for
Fernando
parking
when we
lots.
marked those parking lots for the barbecue contest.
I'm about to bring that next week.
We might stick some of them little stickers on there for the other
Yeah,
target.
you could shoot. You ain't gonna see much. You can just wrap one around it. It'd wrap it around 3 times as small as that little
Still
one
got
is.
some fluorescent orange little targets you
Yeah.
pull out the
Yeah,
hole
you
plugs
definitely
and
put
stuff.
one of those and put a piece of that on there until you shot it, and it'd probably tear it off. But
We'll get it knocked out.
I'm gonna have to go sit. I ain't got but it's less than 24
That's
hours.
what I was wondering. Tomorrow's a holiday, ain't it? So we get the final closure.
I gotta film some barbecue videos tomorrow, but I plan on going tomorrow
Your
afternoon.
exact
for
words
sure.
you told me Thursday when I come down here was
Stay until
I'm
Thursday.
I will
right?
not see y'all, and I'm staying till Wednesday for
Yeah.
sure.
I am.
And I was behind this morning, so I don't have no deer hunting stuff. Had all my stuff unloaded out of the truck this weekend, and I got to running behind this morning. I grabbed just shotgun and boots and headed
The
out.
weather and the wind's going to be right the next 2 days. So it was good yesterday. I mean, I saw more deer yesterday I've probably seen all season at
Never
one
know.
time. I mean, they're groups. I mean, it's like now if you see does, you're going to see 6. If you see a buck, it's going to be 2 or 3. And I mean, they're all scrubs.
Some of the biggest
But
bucks
they ain't
I've
coming out
seen.
till 5:15.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen nothing until 5 at the last. You know, you got about. Well, I don't know. It ain't getting dark till. I mean, I think legal shooting's about 5:54 or something like that now. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it is today. I hadn't looked, but you can see near about till 6 o'clock.
Some of the biggest bucks I've seen was the very last eating last day.
I know. That's what I
time.
keep telling myself, Mikey. That's what I keep telling
I
myself.
mean, I had killed a buck early in the season, and you know had seen deer all year, but nothing really worth shooting. You know, and the very last day, the very last night, they come out way across the field. 3 of them. I mean, all 3 of them were shooters, and I was like, doggone.
Did you get one of them?
No, they's too far.
Oh, was it? Shoot,
Too far for me to feel comfortable shooting at them, anyways.
That's what I was kind of hoping. You'd see some buck we hadn't seen all year, just wanting to eat and claim some new territory or something. And I was going to lay one down, but it ain't happened yet. I need one more doe. That's why I was wanting to shoot one this morning. I was like, get one of them doe. We need some more sausage. Jamie needs one. Yeah, come on, shoot you a doe this evening.
I do need one.
You don't even need nothing. Orange vest is in there.
Everything's over there. Everything. You don't need anything. There's heaters in the stand. You can hunt what you got on. Put the orange vest on. It ain't cold. I mean, it's supposed to be
60 today.
It's supposed to be 60 today.
Oh, it'll be just right this afternoon.
The wind's supposed to come out of the south or the.
I think it's out of the north. I think. Hold on. Let me look, Mikey. Let me pull out the Onyx. See what it's going to do tonight.
So Brad was messing with my Onyx coming home.
Oh, no, it is out of the dang.
Yeah,
I said that. I done lied to you on the wind.
Well, it was supposed to get up to 60-something today. I figured it was blowing out of the south.
Oh, mine's
We
showing,
still got, it's going to be southwest.
mine's showing northwest.
Yours is? What you got? I don't know what kind of one you got.
I know that's what.
Action News 5.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
You got Memphis. You got Memphis weather.
Might be blowing that up Memphis, but it ain't here. Now, I see all kinds of good stands for that wind right there, looking at my little
coming out of the
system.
southwest, you got
be
some
okay.
choices. Yeah. If it ever starts coming out of southeast, you're in trouble.
Yep. Don't go to
Brad
plantation.
got to mess with my Onyx app coming home, and he's like, man, I can pretty much as much stuff. I don't even know how to do half the stuff I got on my Onyx. He said, man, y'all better tell what time the deer's going to get out of bed with all the stuff you got.
That's pretty impressive, man.
Well, he showed one of the guys down there this weekend about the Acorn app or Oak Tree app or whatever. And the guy's like, dude, what? And he pulled it up.
Yeah.
And he knew the property, and he's like, man, that's not there spot on to where I got oak tree.
Yeah.
He said, and like I said, it's mostly pines down there, but he had a couple trees. He said, it's spot on to where the trees are at. Yeah.
I asked when Onyx dude told me about that, I was like, man, ain't no way how they do it. And it's USDA
Satellite or
maps,
something.
their satellite
yeah,
images they're getting that shows it. And they know where trees are that are producing on people's property.
I had to turn some of mine off because
It's too much.
well, it was too much. Yeah, because I had the wetlands turned on. I had the oak trees, the coniferous
Government
trees, government land, and I got to looking. I was like, man, I got
Creeks.
some overlapping colors here, and I was like,
just look like
let me turn
rainbow
some of this
on
stuff
yours.
off.
Yeah, I have to do that too. But it's pretty sharp. If y'all ain't never messed with that app, man, y'all go check out the Onyx.
And you can use it for everything. They got it
Yeah.
for riding side by sides, for hunting, for whatever.
But that's going to do us for today, guys. We're going to wrap up deer season here, and I guess we'll come back and hopefully talk about squirrels next
Kill a
week.
couple squirrels.
See what else is going on.
Got to do some recipes on squirrels.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's been a good season, but it ain't been a great season for us.
I ain't cooked a squirrel, and man, it's probably been 20 years since I cooked a squirrel.
Man, we cooked one the other day, didn't we, Mikey?
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
two-piece squirrel.
Yeah.
Me and Malcolm got down here.
Was it on a Friday night?
It was when all that ice. Was it the ice?
I don't think so.
Something happened. All the grocery stores out of everything.
Yeah, it's after the ice. It was that
After the
Friday
ice. So
after.
they didn't have no meat, no nothing.
No.
So I was digging around in the freezer and refrigerator. Malcolm was. So, I mean, we got down here and somebody
had some
killed a
dove.
squirrel. Yeah, I had a couple of little deer tenderloins.
No, that's what it was. We wasn't dove. It was deer tenderloin that we ate. Tenderloin, squirrel, and gravy.
all in the same gravy.
Man, biscuits and mashed taters and green beans. That was a fine dinner, Mikey.
It was.
That's all you did, just had a squirrel quarters and fried them, battered and fried.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those-
and then
the
cooked them
quarters
down.
in the far back end of him and
Kept cooking.
fried him, put him in that gravy and let him pop for about an hour.
We didn't eat till like 9 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
That was the late one.
See, when you do stuff in gravy, you know, it's especially squirrel or deer or something, you need to let that go a couple of hours. You just keep adding liquid to it as it dries out and keep cooking.
I've seen some people put it in a crock pot with like a broth or something like that, kind of like boil it and tenderize it, I guess, and then come back and batter it and fry it.
Yeah, you can do that.
Squirrel and rabbit.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. Some of the best deer I've ever had was they cook it down in no electric skillet. Y'all's mamas ever have one of them? Or?
Yeah, them square ones.
Yeah, those square with the lid on it. Man, they'd make that, fry that meat in there and then take out some of the grease and make a gravy and put it back in there and just let it go.
Yep.
Keep adding a little water to it and stirring it every once in a while or broth. Man, it gets so tender. All you need is a tater and
Go
price.
kill us some rodents and just make some Brunswick stew and be done.
We could do it. Y'all go kill some squirrels.
Got a
I'm
coon
going
out there.
to make some enchiladas. So.
Squirrel
It's
enchilada.
gonna be chicken
you need
enchiladas.
a coon for them enchiladas.
I could make coon
You jazz them
enchiladas. You think-
enchiladas up.
Go over
Oh,
and
coon
get that,
enchiladas.
get that jerk off that ditch and skin him real quick. Might take me a little while. I had to pressure. I think you'd have to pressure cook a coon.
Probably.
I have only had coon one time, and it was baked, and that's been years. When I was a kid.
We used to eat them, and Mom used to crock pot them and barbecue them.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Man, barbecue coon, Mark. That's all you. You wouldn't eat it?
I'd eat it. I don't
You
know
just don't
enough
know about
about
cooking
it though.
All right.
Too many glands you got to take out. I bet I forgot.
There
one
ain't
of
that many. It's only like on the legs, isn't it?
I think it's 4.
4 of them, yeah.
Oh, this man we hung out with at the hotel from Louisiana. Last time talking about eating coon,
Nutri-rats.
yeah, seriously.
Man,
Eating,
You'll eat anything.
his
You'll eat a
wife's like,
Nutri-Rat.
no. She said she can't do it.
Would you rather eat a Nutri-Rat or armadillo?
Nutri-Rat.
Nutri-Rat.
Heck yeah.
You ain't eating armadillo?
Heck no, them things look
They
terrible.
just sound like greasy mush.
Jelly.
Man, I don't like messing with them things. They carry leprosy.
Yeah, they do.
All right,
All right.
let's go knock some videos out.
Let's get some videos, y'all. We'll be back next week. Appreciate everybody. Oh, you got a day and a half.
You got a day and a half to
Submit
your entries for the contest. We still
Yeah.
got them going on, same 3 that we had. So
Yep. We shipped all those out. We're going to ship out some more stuff. It's just some swag. Mark, what is it? Hoodies and hats and
Hoodies and
beanies.
hats and shirt.
And we've been having some orders come through the website too. So if anybody y'all interested in supporting Buck Junkies, jump on there and buy you a hat or a hoodie or a t-shirt or something. But we'll be back next week. Y'all take it easy. We gone.